December 21st is much more than just the shortest day of the year. While millions focus on the winter solstice, this date has actually been a massive turning point for empires, science, and even the way we spend our Sunday mornings. Before we walk through the timeline, we have to look at the people who share this birthday. Today is the day we celebrate the birth of Hollywood's most iconic voice, Samuel L. Jackson, born in 1948. It is also the birthday of the legendary actress and activist Jane Fonda, born in 1937, and the current president of France, Emmanuel Macron, who was born in 1977. Now let's travel back over 4 centuries to see how this single day reshaped the course of human history. In 1620, one of the most famous landings in history took place. On December 21st, the Pilgrims aboard the Mayflower officially stepped ashore at Plymouth Rock in what is now Massachusetts. After a brutal 66-day journey across the Atlantic Ocean, these settlers began the difficult task of establishing the Plymouth colony. While it wasn't the first English settlement in North America, its survival and the democratic ideals established by the Mayflower Compact would eventually become the cultural cornerstone for the future United States. Moving forward to 1891, the world of sports changed forever in a small gymnasium in Springfield, Massachusetts. Dr. James Naismith, a physical education instructor, was looking for a way to keep his students active indoors during the harsh New England winter. On this day, he organized the very first game of basketball. He used 2 peach baskets nailed to a balcony and a soccer ball. That inaugural game ended with a score of just 1-0, but it sparked a global phenomenon that would grow into one of the most popular sports on the planet. In 1898, science took a massive leap forward into the atomic age. Pierre and Marie Curie announced the discovery of a new chemical element, radium. Working in a poorly ventilated shed, the Curies managed to isolate this radioactive element, a feat that would fundamentally change our understanding of physics and chemistry. This discovery paved the way for modern cancer treatments and the eventual development of nuclear energy. Marie Curie would later become the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. By 1913, the way we challenge our brains changed during a quiet morning at the New York World newspaper. Editor Arthur Wynne published what he called a word cross puzzle. It was a diamond-shaped grid with clues to fill in words. This was the very first crossword puzzle ever published. It was intended as a simple holiday filler for the paper's entertainment section, but it triggered a worldwide obsession. Today, millions of people still start their day with a crossword, unaware that the tradition began right here on December 21st. In 1937, the film industry witnessed a revolution. Walt Disney's Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs premiered at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. At the time, many in Hollywood called the project Disney's folly, believing that no one would sit through a feature-length animated movie. They were wrong. The film was a massive critical and commercial success, proving that animation was a sophisticated medium for storytelling. It laid the foundation for the Disney empire and changed the trajectory of cinema forever. In 1968, human exploration reached a new frontier. NASA launched the Apollo 8 mission from the Kennedy Space Center. This was the first crewed spacecraft to leave low Earth orbit, reach the Moon, orbit it, and return safely to Earth. The 3 astronauts, Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders, became the first humans to witness an Earthrise from space. It was a moment of profound perspective for humanity, showing our entire planet as a tiny, fragile blue marble in the vast darkness of space. On December 21st, 1970, one of the most surreal meetings in political history occurred. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, showed up unannounced at the gates of the White House. He carried a handwritten letter for President Richard Nixon, requesting a meeting to discuss how he could help the country fight drug culture. Nixon agreed, and the two met in the Oval Office. Elvis even asked for, and received, a badge from the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs. The photograph of their handshake remains the most requested image from the United States National Archives. Tragedy struck in 1988 when Pan Am Flight 103 was destroyed by a bomb while flying over Lockerbie, Scotland. The plane was en route from London to New York City when the explosion occurred, killing all 259 people on board and 11 people on the ground. This event, known as the Lockerbie bombing, remains the deadliest terrorist attack in the history of the United Kingdom. It led to a massive international investigation and permanent changes to global aviation security protocols. In 1991, the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century officially collapsed. Leaders from 11 of the 12 remaining Soviet republics met in Kazakhstan to sign the Alma-Ata Protocol. This document formally dissolved the Soviet Union and established the Commonwealth of Independent States in its place. This brought a definitive end to the Cold War and signaled the transition of former Soviet territories into independent nations, fundamentally shifting the balance of global power. Finally, in 2012, the world watched with a mix of anxiety and curiosity as the end of the world approached. December 21, 2012, marked the conclusion of a 5,125-year cycle in the Mayan long count calendar. This led to widespread rumors and doomsday theories that a global cataclysm would occur. While the day passed without an apocalypse, it remains a fascinating modern example of how ancient history and digital age media can combine to create a global cultural phenomenon. Subscribe to this channel right now to make sure you never miss another deep dive into the fascinating events that shaped our world.